So today on the Seek and Destroy Dev server, we're going to be taking a look at a rather unusual ship that will be coming in the next update, the French Guichen, which is going to be coming in at rank 2 battle rating 4.3, between the Volcolon and the Le Malin destroyers. So the Guichen is actually originally an Italian ship. It was the Scipione Africano of the Capitani Romani class of light cruisers. And we've actually got one of those ships in the Italian tech tree, but basically after the war it was handed over to the French and they converted it to a destroyer. And it's got some rather unique features. So its main armament is 3 105mm ex-German naval guns. So you've got 2 at the back here and 1 at the front. And they're fairly fast firing, 17 rounds a minute. And these were originally anti-aircraft cannons, so they've got a vertical guidance of plus 80. Unfortunately, they only fire HE and HE timed fuse shells. So they will be decent enough against enemy ships and they will be passable against enemy aircraft. Without the armour-piercing shells or HEVT shells, they're going to struggle a little bit. But like I say, it's got a very fast rate of fire, so you will be able to overwhelm enemies just through sheer weight of fire if needed. And then moving on to the secondary armament, you've got 5 twin 57mm Bofors guns. And you've got one of them turrets at the front here, and then you've got the other 4 at the rear of the ship. And again, they've got a very fast fire rate of 120 rounds a minute. So 2 shells a second, and you've got 5 turrets. Assuming just 4 of them are firing, you've put in out 8 shells a second. So these are extremely fast firing. And again, they've got pretty good vertical guidance, plus 90 degrees. And so, yeah, these are going to be very good at putting out a ridiculous amount of fire. Unfortunately, they only fire HE shells, and they've only got a maximum penetration of 7mm. So these will be pretty good against enemy aircraft. Again, they don't have a HEVT shell, which I believe they did in Swedish service, these guns. But just through sheer weight of fire, they will probably hit an aircraft, especially at the lower tiers. Against enemy ships, they might struggle a little bit, but again, you're going to be putting so much fire on the enemy from these guns that you're probably going to break something sooner rather than later. And if nothing else, you're just going to be knocking out the unarmoured portions of the enemy ships and forcing the enemy to just be constantly on repair work. And then you've got your radars. You've got a DRBV-20A and DRBV-11 search radars. And the fire directors, you've got 3 of them. So you've got this main one at the front here, which is a bit of a gigachad of a fire director. It's just absolutely massive. And it's got your standard 15 seconds calculation time and 8 seconds to update. But then you've got these 2 fire directors at the back here, and they have a fire solution calculation time of 6 seconds and an update time of 3 seconds. Now that's only for the main guns, but that is a really good calculation time, and so you're going to be able to hit the enemy pretty accurately, pretty quickly, which coupled with the amount of fire you're going to be putting out, that is, that will make these guns pretty lethal, if not spectacularly so. Like I say, without the AP shell, they might struggle a little bit, but the amount of HE fire you're going to be putting on and putting on accurately, that's going to do a lot of damage to enemies. Like I said, with the 57mm guns, at the very least, you're going to be keeping them on repairs pretty much constantly. Then for the torpedo armament, again, you've got this unusual front-mounted configuration. So you've got 4 triple torpedoes. Now, they're not the fastest travelling in the world. They only do 28.8 miles per hour, and they can only travel 5 kilometres. Again, being front-mounted, you can charge at the enemy, engage them with your main guns, though majority are not going to be engaging the enemy, and then quickly fire a couple of torpedoes, turn around, and then hit them with your superior rear armament. So, yeah, this is going to be a rather unusual ship when it comes to the armament. The speed is a little bit slower than the other French destroyers. I think it's like 1 mile per hour slower than the Volcolon. The armour is basically non-existent. You've only got armour around the turrets, and it's only 10mm, sometimes 15mm, depending on where you're looking. So, extremely unarmoured. The bridge isn't protected at all. But then you do get a fair amount of crew. So, 353, compare that to the previous vessel, you got 232. The Le Malin has 265. The Marceau has about 332. The Milan, 227. So, you've got a much higher crew complement than the other ships around this tier. It's not till you get to the Jeanne d'Arc that you get more crew than the Guichen. And then lastly, you can see the displacement is a lot more than the other ships as well, because, like I say, this was based on a light cruiser. And so, yeah, this is a rather unique and unusual ship. I think this will do pretty well. I think the best ship I can compare it to off the top of my head is probably the USS Wilkinson, though the armament isn't as good, but just because of the very good fire directors and quick-firing guns. I think this is more intended to be used as an AA ship. It will suffer because it hasn't got those HEVT shells, but I think it will do decently enough just because of the sheer weight of fire you're going to be throwing out of these guns, and I think it will be a pretty decent surface combatant as well. Again, just because of the amount of firepower you're going to be putting out. The only weakness really is the lack of an AP shell, but at the lower tiers that shouldn't be such a huge impediment to, successfully using this ship. So that is the Guichen coming to the French tech tree in the next update. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll join me for the next one. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.